the buyer and closing, we're going to schedule negotiations to investors. We got access to the property now. Now that the homeowners, we got it under contract, they're allowing us to check it out. We're telling them this is our inspection time. So we're also showing it to our investors and our partners. And we're in negotiation with them on locking this under the assignment contract. Now, the assignment contract is basically the second end of it. This is where you're finding cash buyers for your property. You're looking at the property if you're doing this locally, or if you're doing it remotely. You're getting the pictures. You're past the marketing. So now it's time to get you an investor to buy your property and pay you on the assignment fee. So you'll start with the negotiations with them and just tell them you're pretty firm since you did get this at a wholesale deal. If it's marketed correctly at a price that makes sense for everybody, it should sell very quickly. Lock the buyer in the assignment contract. This is the assignment contract where you're typing all the information, and I'll pull up an assignment contract for you so you guys can see how we've done one, and then you send it to the title company, and then basically you wait for closing date, and then you get paid. So within the title company, we'll show you how to stay in touch with them, make sure that you guys are sending out emails and documenting your emails, and making sure that your buyer and your seller are all taken care of, so that everything is organized and closing dates and like that and things like that. So the last part is getting paid. We talk about how. Let me get a drink real quick. We'll talk about how you can show up to closing. Get paid at closing, or if you want to just do it by wire transfer, that's an option as well. We've done both, and we've also got paid way before we even had to close. We had buyouts on our contracts where the guy said, "Hey man, let's just get this wired to us," and I'm tired of dealing with you guys. Basically, not that it's a negative thing. We just want to keep it between me and the seller from here on out, and I'm just going to buy you out of your contract. So those are things that's worked for us in the past. So we're going to go ahead and go into scheduling showing with investors. This is time to set up and arrange time with the seller to have access to the property. Getting a key or lockbox is crucial so your cash buyers can look at the property. That's a typo. If it is occupied by the seller, make sure that you organize showing times with them, and be present if necessary. This is very important as far as when we talked about, I didn't talk about it yesterday. So me and Chris, he's in this Zoom meeting right now. We were negotiating a deal, and we had a wholesaler that tried to come and basically talk to the homeowner out of our contract. So beware of who you're dealing with out there, and this is very important. A lot of people may sound nice and things like that, but if you have a good deal and they want to take it from you, there's some shady wholesalers out there, and just make sure you're dealing with people and investors that and trust, because we had to learn from our mistakes. Chris, do you have anything to say about what happened with Esmeralda down there?
Yeah. So with Esmeralda, we made the mistake of trusting this lady. She came down from Texas, scheduled a meeting. Of course, it was not anywhere near our hometown, and our seller had agreed that he was willing to go ahead and meet with the people, show them around. He knew what we were doing. He knew that we were wholesaling and trying to make a little bit off of it, but we were just using our people and our marketing tools to get us sold for him. He had been using a realtor for the past 6 months. He said that lady maybe showed it 3 to 4 people. Not really, not really into, into trying to sell in this house for me. So that's why whenever we had reached out to him, he was willing to sell the house. One or two said, hey, it's almost about to come off the market. There's only less than a week left. There's it's not something I want to keep doing with her because she's not doing anything with it. So I want to sell to y'all. I know that y'all said that y'all can move fast on it, which is what we do. So we did. We got on it. We found, reached out, found some buyers, and like I said, Esmeralda was one of them. Came down, checked the house out, talked with the homeowner. She actually knew more about the homeowner than the home than he did. So she did her research, looked and found out that it was recently listed with the MLS. So she actually reached out and got a hold of the realtor. The realtor then turned around and got a hold of our seller and said, hey, I've got, this contract with you saying that, I've got to be able to market this and sell this house, and this realtor had worked with this guy for years, on several different houses and found him things like that. So he didn't want to burn the bridges with that. So it was kind of one of those things where he was in limbo. We had sold that, we had got several offers on the house, sold, to two people. Esmeralda was one of them, and to another guy named Kong.
Not the Kong.
Not the Kong, but another Kong. So anyway, so Kong had made his offer. We had accepted it and proceeded to move forward. But Esmeralda tried to go out from
undercut
underneath
and bring the
Yes.
realtor back in. Yeah. So the realtor had gotten out of it, and they had worked it out between them, Chris, our in buyer, or I'm sorry, our seller, and the realtor had got out of that contract. We got it under contract for a little bit less than what it was on the market, and then we found an investor in Texas. So long story short, she tried to cut us out and go to the realtor and try to get something working back again whenever we already had direct communication with the seller. And everything worked out on our end, thank God, because it was a really good deal, and we were doing right by everybody, and there's just some shady people out there, so be careful.
And that was a $10,000 deal. That was, we had it locked in on contract, ready to go, closing date set, and he wants to pull it off from underneath us. And now, and to potentially lose $10,000 that you were waiting on and expecting and things like that, that was going to be a big blow to us, but
Yeah.
we pulled it off.
Yep, we pulled it off, and we're still here, still fighting. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go into back into this. Lock boxes is crucial so your cash buyers, if it's vacant, make sure that you put a lock box out there so that they can have access to it, or if they need to get any of their bids from their contractors or anything like that. So make sure that you have a lock box out there. Invest in one if you can, or if you can just have a key hidden somewhere, whatever works for you. If it's occupied by the seller, make sure that you organize times with them and be present if necessary. Just say, hey, me and my partners are going to come over and look at the house. We're going to be in and out. Is it okay if we schedule something in advance, or if we can set up times to where you can be present, or if we can have access to the property, if somebody can meet you, whatever, however you work that out with them. So the negotiation with your cash buyers. Now, this is where, we've kind of looked around on PropStream yesterday with the representative from PropStream, and this is kind of where he showed us how to find the cash buyers. So this is an example of one we closed on. We made $8,055 off of this one, and this was a vacancy. Yeah, this was a vacancy. We had to actually go over there and clean up the property. And I'm going live, guys. Sorry. We had to clean up the property and ourselves. We wiped down all the cabinets, everything. We cleaned that place up like almost to where it was market ready. We should have put it on the market. We probably could have made an extra, 30,000 off of it, but that's okay. Work with a realtor if you can. That's key. But anyways, back to how I was going to say how to find a cash buyer. This is an option right here. So you've clicked on the address and prop stream now, and you can see the cash buyers in that area based on this address. So this was what we sold it for. We had it under contract for 87,000 something. But these are all cash buyers in the area that you can look for that are similar to this house. And just go through them, say, hey, this is the house that you're targeting. Let's just go to this one, for example. And so you can see that this was a cash buy on 9/22 for 75,000. Joint tenants with right to survivorship. So they're probably investing in this as maybe a rental or a family owned, rental or something like that. So that's just a good example on how to find a cash buyer if you need one. And there's some tips and tricks that, if you need to go back to yesterday's webinar, or it's on my page if you want to go look back at that and see how PropStream navigated it. So when negotiating an assignment, make sure that you control the negotiations. A lot of typos in here, I apologize. Control the negotiations. If the property is a deal, an investor will want it, but be firm and receive offers that's going to work for you. And the buyers, choose your buyer. The buyer in this, I'm sorry, that was another typo. So choose your investors wisely. When I say this, make sure that you're working with somebody who has credibility, that you kind of get a background of who they are. This is going to, help you in doing your homework and finding out, are they serious or are they other wholesalers? In our contract, we have it where this is a non-assignable contract. You cannot assign it to another dealer or another investor or another wholesaler or anything like that. So make sure it's not another. If somebody wants to JV with you, just get a JV contract with them. Just say, hey, yeah, can you find an investor for me? And just work with them together. And if you get the deal done, throw them a couple grand or whatever amount that you guys come up with on the joint venture. Let me see. Lock the buyer in assignment contract or a double close. Now that you negotiated your assignment fee, now it's time to type up the contract. I will pull up an example right here of an assignment contract. Flex Group University training. So if you don't have access to this yet, please get with Pete. Chris, can you type Pete's email? It's just pete@flexiblesolutionsgroup.com, and he'll get you the contracts and training information. This is just a basic assignment contract. This is what we've got downloaded. We'll have this available for download at any time any of my students need it. If any of you guys on TikTok need it, shoot me your email. So the assignment contract is made, whatever date. This is where you're a signer. I think we went over this yesterday, but this is just an example. Read through it. Make sure that everything's, looks good. This is a legal document. So make sure that, if you need any legal advice, don't come to me. I'm not a lawyer. So go to your lawyer and make sure that, you get this checked over and everything looks good for you before you shoot it over to the title company. Now, the title company, or if you guys are working with, attorneys, they'll look over this. The title company will make sure everything they'll send it through their attorneys as well to make sure everything, looks good on their end. And that's part of the close. So just a good idea. Good time to look it over, make sure that, you understand it and before you send it off to the title company. Now it's time for the title company. Contact the title company and provide them with the assignment contract via email and the end buyer's information. Now, this is very important. Make sure that you CC everyone in the email as far as the seller, the end buyer, and the title company, and yourself, or if you're working with a team, make sure that they get they are attached to that email, so all communication can be seen between each party. Staying in touch via email is very, very important, because you could say this and somebody didn't say this. They could delay the close. Trust me, we've been there. We've dealt with a title company that didn't have their crap together, and it cost us 2 weeks of not getting paid on I think it was over a $10,000 contract. But yeah, just make sure that you stay in communication, and as soon as you get a clear closing date, make sure that you send all of the everybody, the seller, the buyer, the title company, make sure everybody knows a good closing date, so that if anything changes, you notify everybody. Yes, go ahead. It's my mother. Mom, I can't hear you.
Okay, Michael, are you waiting for questions after you're done?
If you got a question, I can go ahead and answer it.
Okay, when you're picking out a title company, roughly about what would you say one would cost? I mean,
okay,
just give us an idea.
For a typical close here in Oklahoma, I don't know a whole lot on different states. We haven't done any big ones out of state. They're just basically 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and that can run anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000, just depending on the property. I know some of the states out in the West Coast, they may charge a little bit more depending on the property in the market, but we focused a lot here in Oklahoma in us getting started in the closings that we have done. It's usually around $1,500 to $3,000. Yeah, and it could be more or less, just depending on all properties are different.
Do they have to be licensed, bonded, insured?
Yeah, all title companies will answer those questions. Just make sure you do your due diligence in working with these title companies.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, now it's time to get paid. Congrats, it's closing day, it's payday. We usually show up to the title company, dressed, me and LV here. We like to get all dressed up and fancy and go out there. So we like to shake the hands and, thank everybody for, working with us and just showing face in a professional manner. So if you're going to pick up the check, from the title company on closing date, that would be, just make sure that you're, dressed business attire and, you're looking professional. If you're doing it remotely, you're not required at close, and you get paid direct wire transfer. Make sure that the title company has your wire instructions, and then go do it again. So that's basically steps 1 through 5 of our slideshows for this week. We'll start back again on Monday. We'll just do the same thing, as we did before. TikTok, if you're interested in this class, now would be a good time to sign up. You can go on my profile and do it. I'm going to go ahead and stop the live stream on there and get back to class. This is kind of a little preview of what you can get. This is full wholesale training. This is a course that I teach to my students. So I'm going to get back with them. Hope you sign up. Thanks. Okay, guys. So we're done with the slides on step 5. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is share a little bit of media and examples of what we've done in the past. But for right now, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to get a drink of water. If you got to use the restroom or anything like that, we'll take a 5-minute break. I'll be back at 10:30, and then we'll do that, and then any Q&A, and then we'll wrap up for the week, and then talk about what's going to happen on Monday. All right, guys and gals. Got a little chilly in here. Had to get all bundled up. All right, I'll give them about another minute for everybody to get back in here, and then we will.
I do have a
get back.
question.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you ask for cash verification from the investors?
Like a proof of funds, proof
Yes.
of in, or yeah, okay, yes. Whenever you build a relationship with your investors, just ask them. Say, hey, I'm working on a wholesale deal, and they're asking for proof of funds. They'll type you up something, or they'll send you, you know, a bank statement to whoever to show that, you know, we do have the funds for this. You know, a lot of if you're working with realtors, they'll definitely start, but if you're working with cash buyers, yeah, I mean, they'll help you out if you have a good working relationship with your investors. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Like I have one, for example, that, you know, I go to and I talk with all the time. You know, we just we done a deal together, and we kind of hit it off, and we were you know, we became friends. And this guy I called him on advice for a property that we have here in town, and I said, excuse me, we can't get rid of it. It's not working out for us. And I said, I know in a few years this is going to be a really good property, and I want it as, you know, not my own personal property, but I want it as a rental portfolio. And he said, man, there's going to be somebody out there that's going to be able to help you. Actually, and he told me straight up, he's like, man, you'll find somebody who will want to work with you on these deals. There's money out there. There's people who have a lot of money, deep pockets that will be able to help you, as long as, you know, you do this in the correct manner. And that, me saying that, it is, you know, you follow up and follow through what you're wanting to do with it. For instance, I want to make this a rental property for this company. So I'm going to reach out to the homeowner and say, hey, if this can't work, if this doesn't work out, is there any way I can drop you, like, you know, 10 to 15 grand and see if we can just, you know, owner finance for a little bit, and then me put a renter in there, having that renter, you know, pay that off until I build up the capital to just pay it all in cash and just get it out of the way, and have that as a rental property. And then use the Burr effect. That is using the equity I have in that, and refinance it and go do it towards another one. Let that get paid off by the rent to own person, you know, and most of the time that only they stay in there for like 6 years at the most, and then they're wanting to move on. And so they just break the contract, and then you just start over. I mean, it's just a continuous way of making money. Don't ever worry about paying these off, because they'll keep paying for themselves. That's why these investors get rental properties, is because it's a continuous cash flow. They can take out the equity from the bank and refinance it, and then use that money, that equity, and put that back into another flip house and do the same thing. And that's how the rich get richer. That's real estate. So anyways, let's get into a few of what works for us in each one of these steps. I'm going to go ahead and minimize this and go ahead and go into some of the tips that, you know, work for us. I'm not going to go into anything on, you know, scheduling times. You guys know how to do that. So when negotiations, you want to control everything. You want to make sure that whenever you get this contract, this assignment contract over to the title company, and you know, you want to make sure you got the right number for you. And when I say, you know, oh no, let me see here. Start recovery. Yeah. Okay. So whenever, sorry, give me a second, guys. I want to pull up the assignment contract. Okay. So not this contract. I apologize. Okay. Okay, so this assignment contract, I want to go over this a little bit I want to make sure you guys read over everything so whenever you're filling this out and you're ready to have a cash buyer, ready for close. So the assigner, that's going to be you. Property located. Make sure that you put in the property. I know we did this yesterday, but this is important in your close. This is where you're going to get paid. So you want to make sure that everything is correct on it. Whereas the assignee, if this is an LLC, you want to put the LLC. If the buyer is a joint venture into this, can y'all mute y'all's mics, please? Thank you very much. So whenever you're filling this out, I got lost there, I'm sorry. So the assignee, if they're doing it as an LLC, make sure you put their LLC, their legal company, not their names. Just make sure that you have everything in line whenever filling this out, because this could come back to haunt you and say, oh, we have to fill out an addendum because you didn't do this, and then you have to send it back over via DocuSign to the seller. The end buyer and the seller, and then it's just a mess if you don't have everything lined up. So it's very important that if you're dealing with LLCs compared to just, most of these buyers are going to be LLCs. So you got to make sure that you have all the information on here for their paperwork as well, because these contracts are going to be saved as far as, their tax, their tax paperwork, or, they have to have this documented. So you got to make sure this is correct. Whereas the seller, that's you. If you're working as an LLC, you would put this as an LLC. If you're just doing it as, you and have a DBA, kind of where we're at, we haven't LLC yet because we're partners in this. So we're still typing up our articles of organization, things like that. So if you're just doing it as a DBA for right now, go ahead and do it as a DBA. Set you up an account, a DBA account at your bank, or just make sure you don't get in with any of the. This is some financial advice. Any of the big banks, because it'll be a mess. Make sure you work with your local banks and credit unions, because they can guide you a lot better than any of the big banks on some of this stuff as far as the real estate and the business side of it. Let me see here. Consideration, we spell out everything, and then you put the dollar amount right here. The agreement between the seller, make sure that you have Mr. Bob and Jane Smith's information right here. You're the assigner. DBA is doing business as. I'm reading the chat, sorry. Settlement for all funds expended by the assigner, including but not limited to earnest money deposits, inspection, and any other costs connected with the underlying purchase agreement. If you've done any inspections and paid for any of the inspections, you make sure that you get your money back. Make sure any of your earnest money that you put down towards this is paid in your assignment. Or additionally to your assignment, or if you need to negotiate that between you and the end buyer, make sure that everything is said in these contracts, so there's not $400 out of your $10,000 assignment fee where the end buyer said that they were going to pay for inspections. Just make sure that you communicate at all ends and it's put in paperwork to cover your butt. It can be structured, interpreted, and enforced according to the state laws. We put Oklahoma. Make sure that I'm not offering any legal advice on these contracts. I'm just saying this is what works for us. So make sure that you have lawyers look at these contracts whenever you're sending them out. It's very important. And I know you're getting into a lot whenever you're doing this, but you just got to make sure everything is organized and everything stays good. So whenever you're going to close and you're anticipating a payday, and something happens and said we couldn't close because you didn't have X whatever reason, because you didn't have your ducks in a row, and then it doesn't close, and then you're mad, and then you feel like giving up, and it just make sure you have your ducks in a row. Electronic delivery. This is like DocuSign information. Basically, that would be, the terms of the contract. Witness hereof, parties duly executed the agreement. This is your assignment fee payable at closing of the transaction between assignee and seller. So, for instance, let's say you have a $110,000 deal with the end buyer. You have it on contract for 110. You would put 10,000 right here. Assignee shall make a non-refundable deposit. This is earnest pay. Make sure that you get a non-refundable deposit. So if the assigner or assignee, I should say, your end buyer does not close on that property, make sure that you get paid for your time and effort in putting this close together, because this will tell if right here immediately right off the bat you can tell if somebody's serious or not. If you got $100,000 house out there and the closer says, well, or I'm sorry, the end buyer says, yeah, I'll buy it, and then that's when you say, well, how much are you going to put down for an earnest pay into this deal? And if they're, oh, I don't want to put any, well, sorry, hey, I got to go to my other investor. They're willing to put, $5,000 to $10,000 down on this. So if you're willing to do so as well, we can go ahead and get this assignment contract over to the title company, and we can get things started on or finished up on the close and set a closing date. And then they'll be more if they're serious, they'll be more willing to put some money down into escrow at the title company. Now we've received payments for assignments before we even closed, and that was just investors wanting us to say, hey, don't go nowhere. We're going to pay you this non-refundable no matter what. And it worked out for us. We got a payday then, and then we got the rest of the assignment fee at closing. So those are just things that have worked for us. In the event that the assignee fails to close this transaction or is in default of this agreement, the assigner shall have the right to terminate this agreement of contract and declare the assignee in default, wherein assigner shall retain the sum of that non-refundable deposit as liquidated damages, and all right, title, and interest pursuant to the real estate purchase contract shall automatically revert to the assigner without notice. So we would go back into being the buyers, and we can go back. What's good about that, you already got one payday, let's go get another payday. You can find another buyer who will put down that same deposit because it didn't close, and if they close, good for you. Where will the investor pay the non-refundable? They will pay it at the title company. Just say, hey, here's wire instructions from the title company. We'll set it up, or we'll have the title company set it up for you to where, they just reach out in an email and they get that earnest pay sent to the title company. Now, how would taxes work? Sebastian, I don't want to get into taxes because I don't want to offer any financial tax advice because I'm not a lawyer and I don't feel like I'm qualified to do so, but I would definitely check with the CPA. That would be my recommendation for you, is to reach out to a CPA and figure out how to do your taxes if you're going to run this as a business. So that's basically it. Should seller not close, escrow is returned, assignees deposit in full. If your seller didn't close, they wasted your money or wasted your time basically, and the escrow is returned to the assignees deposit in full, so they get that money back. Sorry. This contract is contingent upon clear title. So upon close, when that title is clear and it's transferred to the end buyer, that's whenever you get paid from the title company. A lot of people have been asking me, how do I get paid on this? That's whenever you get your assignment fee at the end of the transaction. Assigner, this is where you would print and sign and date. Your assignee, this is where they would print, sign, and date. If you can do this on DocuSign, that's the best way to get it back and send over to the title company immediately. Now I'm going to go into a little bit of some things right here. This is kind of some examples of our assignment fee. I'll make those. This is a big one we got coming up next week. We sold it for $85,000. Assignment fee right there. This is our end buyer right here. This is my information. Property. I don't want to pull the full thing up because that has a lot of information on here, but that's just kind of an example. Now, I wanted to share this with you because a lot of you guys were asking, and we'll come back to that, about how you would approach if a seller finds out that you're a wholesaler, and what you should say to them, and how we can incorporate this into our contract. We'll go back into this, during steps 2 and 3, but I kind of wanted to share at the end of today's class because I was watching Jerry Norton's podcast, or not podcast, his YouTube channel, and I kind of got some information off of him, and I'm going to implement it into my own business here. So anyways, here, that was that. We'll go into that here in a few. Now this is what got our company started. This was our first check. We got paid the assignment contract. He wrote in a cashier's check. We got paid on it. We opened up this office, and we've been rolling ever since. Yeah, where's that one? This was my very first deal. This was 25 days into me searching for a house. I think I started July 3rd, my first wholesaling by myself. I had been reading up and studying and becoming obsessed with wholesaling for about 3 months prior to that, maybe 2 months, but I know I was on the road a lot doing my flooring, and I kind of just wanted to get into being an investor and things like that. So this was my first deal right there. So kind of a little bit of how we organize here. Well, I don't want to go into a whole lot of that, but let's go ahead and go into just any open discussion. Do you guys have any questions or anything? I'll go ahead and stop sharing the screen for right now. And you got any questions?
Yeah, I got a question because Brenda had put it inside the group chat. She says, if we have trouble with the contract, can we bring it to you guys to review it before we send it?
Yeah, for sure. We'll definitely look it over. I always have to have my stuff looked over by everybody in here. It's just, put a couple eyes on it and just say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Does this make sense to you? And if you need any legal advice, I would definitely contact an attorney. Just say, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is illegal. This is legal. So just make sure that you have everything covered whenever you're filling out the contracts. But yeah, definitely you guys can come to us if you have any questions, and we'll review. We're in it for you guys. So if you get a contract out there, we got your back. This is what the 70-30 joint venture is. It's just basically we're backing you up. We're making sure that you guys are successful, just like we are here in office, and we want you to be successful because as soon as you guys graduate and get that first deal, guess what? I can share the success stories on my TikTok, and we can make this thing grow. There's good relationships with each other. It's been blowing up for us in a way that it's kind of scary good, but we're taking one day at a time, and that's the best way that we can do this. And we're still working, we're still grinding on our own deals and making it happen as wholesalers ourselves, because we know how it's been. We were in you guys' shoes before, so it can be a struggle, but the main thing is you just don't spend all your energy on one on one property. There's so much opportunity out there, and you just got to go out there and look for it. You got to put in the work, and if you don't put in the work and you get lazy, then you're not going to be successful. I catch myself getting lazy all the time, and I got to think, man, is the shit I'm doing right now, is this worth my time? Should I be working a little bit more? But it just, it sometimes you just need a break. So just don't become too obsessed with it. If you got family out there, if you guys got families, just make sure that you separate this, because it can become obsessive. I mean, I get in here 6:30 every morning. I meditate, and then I start going into what can I build this business as, and I spend hours upon hours of just the stress of this business and trying to make it work for everybody, and getting you guys out there and being successful. Man, I'm grinding for you guys. I'm grinding for my guys. But if you stay grinding in that mentality, guys, this will pay off. Trust me. It's good.
Sweet. That answered my question. I appreciate that, Mike.
Yeah, no problem.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
It's a little off subject, but no pun intended. But I'm asking about subject 2. I'm a little curious and don't really understand the subject of it.
Okay, let me go ahead and go to the training real quick. My drive, hold on just one second. No, not my drive. Flexible Solutions Group. Let me share my screen real quick, and I will show you. You guys are getting a preview of your diploma. So, yeah. Okay. This is your diploma right here. Okay, I broke it down. I got it on 10 steps, or I'm sorry, 14 steps right here. You'll get this whenever you graduate. If you want to screenshot it right now, you can, but please don't. No, I'm just playing. You can utilize this. I mean, this is what we planned on giving you guys as your diploma, and this is the basic breakdown. Whenever I said, hey man, I'm going to do this as a business, and this is how I made it a plan. We have steps in there, and you can go deep into this as much as you want. But this is the basic structure of my business. We get the leads from PropStream, scouts find the properties. I have Josh over there, and Gerald, we call them Sweet. They're looking for properties all day. Skip, trace, and pull. Those 1 and 2 is the first step. Steps 3, 4, and 5 is step 2. You have your VA or you scout, or you make the call to your seller. That's whenever you make the call, you do the work, you talk to the seller, see if they're motivated, and then you gather all the information up on the call with 2. We do it with 2 people. This is what works for us. Make whatever works for you work for you. We do 2 calls, 2 people on the call, 1 caller, 1 writer, and then we set a call time for a call back for the offer. Step 5, gather the information from the call and pull up comps, find out the ARV, look at the comps, rehab, the return on investment, ROI, return on investment, the 70% rule, and prepare for the offer. Create an email. We create an email as far as, we shoot it over after we negotiate, and get them to DocuSign and get it under contract. I mean, you got to negotiate with them, of course. If you got any questions on negotiation, I have a recommendation on reading a book, and I'm going to grab that book right here because it's here in my office. It's called, I've read this about 1.5 times now. I kind of go over it, but it's Never Split the Difference. It's by Chris Voss. It's a great book. I would look into some of his techniques, because this goes with anything in business, and this is how you're going to make your sellers and your end buyers feel comfortable whenever you're talking with them, to them about these big contracts. So yeah, that's the first part. Now this is going to be the second part right here. This is an assembly line order. This is how I was just thinking outside of the box, and I said, this is how 4 Ford company is built off of by assembly line. This is how McDonald's runs their assembly line. Everybody has a task in this office, and all you got to do is follow along with it. You know how to talk to I talk to the majority of the customers, or not customers, the sellers myself. Me and Chris, we talk to a lot of the end buyers. LV does a lot of the marketing and talks with the title companies and deals with the investors as well. LV and Josh, they talk directly with the sellers. So everybody has a job in here, and we just go down the line once we get one under contract. How my business works is basically my scouts do this work. My VAs do the call, get as much information on that initial call as they can. They shoot over the information to me. I get it in a direct message. I go from right here. I start gathering up all the information for a callback. I pull the comps. I pull the ARV. I pull everything on it. I find out as much information I can on the property before I make a offer on the property, and then create a doc. You sign it and send it over. This is something that we do specifically. You don't have to implement this. This is just what works for us. And then you can go to, have the scouts. I have my guys, if the property's local, they go out and take the pictures while I'm here in office still doing, making calls and, this and that. They go out and do this for us. And then LV builds a property analysis, which was, I'll go ahead and pull that up as well. We'll come back to that. Well, actually, I'll show the property analysis later. Y'all seen it yesterday if you've done the marketing. He builds a property analysis. If you have the $299 and if you paid in full already for the $299 varsity package, we'll build you a property analysis for you, and then we'll market it on our website and our social media, and we'll get it out there. We'll help you find a cash buyer and market it, and so you can have a link for it on our website. And you guys can upgrade if you want to upgrade to that, where we build the property analysis and market it with you. You can upgrade. It's $299. I know a lot of you just paid for the $99 one, but you can upgrade anytime. Then send mass emails to your buyers list, as well as phone and text. Create dummy ads or ghost ads, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same process of building a house in the area, making it look like a real enticing deal, and say, hey, we've already closed on it, but I have another property in the area I can show you that is similar to that. Schedule showing dates, collect email offers. This is what we do. So if they go look at the property and they say, hey, we want to make an offer, we can tell them, hey, just go over to offers@flexiblesolutionsgroup.com. And if you don't feel like, negotiating right now, you can just say, hey, this is, we're willing to offer this, get you about 3 or 4 offers. I mean, this is just ideas that work for us. So you don't have to do this. This is just how we operate here at Flexible Solutions Group. Lock the buyer in contract, discuss earnest pay, and have the buyer send the money to the title company, and then email the assignment contract. I mean, this is what we talked about today. This is kind of where we were at today, 12, 13, and 14. Follow up with the title company and set a closing date and get paid. I created all this based on what worked for us in getting to where we're at now. I could probably update it, but yeah, I mean, this is you guys' diploma. I'll go ahead and stop share right there. So yeah, that's basically it for today. If you guys got questions, we'll be happy to answer. Maybe if you got questions for Chris, and if anybody doesn't know, my mom is in this, Brenda. That's my mom. She's in North Carolina. I'm in Oklahoma. But yeah, she's sitting in, she's wanting to learn this as well, and she wants to change her financial future as well. So, and we're willing to help, that's what we're about. So if you guys got questions, let's hear them.
How do you send your mass emails? Do you use Excel or?
So we got a buyers list. What we do whenever we started building our buyers list with the ghost ads and things like that, Chris created a form where they go to a Google Doc link and basically just fill out their information, such as their first and last name, email, all the contact information, what they're interested in buying as far as, are they looking for single family homes? Are they looking for, multifamily? Are they looking for commercial? Are they looking for land? So Chris had a good idea on creating that. I've left that all up to him. But it's been useful in getting information and seeing how many cash buyers that we can work with, and what we, whenever we get a new property out there and we start talking to new investors, I mean, it's just like, it's fun for me because you're building a new relationship with another person that you can possibly work with in the future, and sell them more properties if they're interested at a later date. I mean, this is a continuous thing. This isn't just a get rich kind of thing. If you want to be successful in this, there's always going to be an opportunity to wholesale. There's always going to be a property out there that you can make a deal on, and they're never going to outlaw it, I don't think, because you're basically doing contracts, and they can't stop you from making a contract. You can't stop a person from making a legal contract with another person on that house and then making a deal with another person. That's business. If they're going to do that, they might as well stop all the, I don't want to get into that. This is negative, but you get what I'm saying. This is a good opportunity if you want to do it as a side hustle, man. Go out there and do the side hustle part of it and keep your regular jobs and just have an extra income. And then whenever you have enough income, go out there and invest in properties and start building your portfolio. I wanted to go all in and do this with my team because I can build businesses. I know in my mind I can build businesses. I built Flex Group University off of basically 3 or 4 of you guys, and then just figured out, hey man, we need to get this on a broader scale. So I built that as a business. I create businesses, but at the same time, I know the investment aspect. So it's basically, the more you know about this real estate industry, not just the wholesaling, but the BRRRR, getting into the BRRRR method of buy, rehab, renovate, repeat, all that. Just make sure that you understand that, because that could be your next level. That could get you to taking it to the next level and making money. And if you're in this to, build financial, generational wealth, this is a good opportunity. I know that here in about 5 to 10 years, I'll have a rental portfolio that will take care of my kids forever. And that's what I want to do. I'm going to move my mom. I've already told my mom, who is sitting right here, I'm going to move her to Oklahoma on my ranch. I'm going to build me a 10-bedroom, 8-bath house, and this is going to happen. I've already pictured the house in my head, and I pictured this in my head, and this came to reality. It's what you create in here is what you can do in your life and make it happen. And this is just a stepping stone. This could be something bigger than just this right here, and you guys can take it to the next level and start teaching other people as well. Think and grow rich. That's it right there. That's what changed my life. If you need something in your life that's going to motivate you and get you to that next level, that's it. That's it right there. So.
I had a question for you.
Yeah.
All right. So my question is, when you said you got that first check, right?
Right.
That first one. Now, were you working solo completely? Were you doing everything yourself, or did you already have your guys?
Okay, so here's what happened. Me and Chris and his buddy Chris went out to North Carolina and stayed on a ranch, and we were doing some flooring for my stepdad, and we visited my mom. And then on our way back, it was like a 17-hour drive. I got into TikTok for the first time ever on that road trip. And then I found Kong, and I said, dude, I'm going to become that son of a gun. And guess what? I became that son of a gun. So here I am now. Long story short, I went out there and just tried it. I went out there on my own and tried it, and I failed, and I used everything that I knew in business in building my flooring company, and I implemented it into locking that deal. And I know it may sound crazy, but all I did was talk to people like I did with my customers in flooring. And I just talked to them and said, hey, this is what I want to do with it. I'm an investor. I work with investors, just like Kong said. And just whatever I took basically everything that Kong gave me, everything that Jerry Norton gave me, everything that, what's the other book? The Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Read that book. Rich
Yeah.
Dad, Poor Dad. You know, he explains wholesaling before wholesaling got big. And I wish I would have paid attention to that a long time ago, because I read that book and it took me going back and realizing what they were saying for it to make sense. So keep reading, keep growing, keep thinking and growing rich, and it'll happen. I mean, I'm dead serious. I'm living proof. Ask my mom. I'm not supposed to be here today. 6 months old. I was supposed to die, you know?
Yeah,
Getting a little emotional on here.
he had spinal meningitis at the 6 months old, and we were doing last burial rites, and we just all prayed for him. Priest came in, gave him his last rites. They said he's going to be mentally retarded, like disabled. And I was looking for all those, you know, other than him being bullheaded. There ain't nothing wrong with that kid.
Bald-headed or bull-headed?
Oh.
Nah, it's been a long journey. It's
Yes,
been a long journey, but hey, I'm here with you guys, and you know, hopefully I can make a difference in you guys' life and just teach this to you, because it's beneficial. It's been beneficial in my life, and you know, I believe it could change you guys' future like it's changing ours right now. We're still growing. I mean, we're still locking in deals. We haven't done volume, but we're getting leads every day, and we're making those leads happen. We're turning it into paying these bills, paying our bills at home, and we don't have to wake up to a boss every day. When these guys call me a boss or anything like that, I'm not a boss. You're your own boss. You're your own
Business
entity.
partner.
We're business partners in this. I
There
want
you
your
go.
success as much as you want me in helping and guiding you. So whenever I talk to Chris or Gerald here in office or LV, I don't talk at them. I say, hey, how can we help grow each other? That's what it's about, and that's how entrepreneurs make it. That's how CEOs are built. They're looking for help within each other's groups to be successful. If I don't know accounting and Christopher Scarro knows accounting, I'm going to reach out to him. If Tate knows how a better way to find houses that's going to make us millions, and say, hey, Mike, I want to thank you, and I want to put you on and help me, you know, build this business, maybe we can do that. Or if Jasmine wants to go into investments later and say, hey, I got these quadplexes in Houston, let's get this quadplex business going, Mike. I love your energy. This is an opportunity for all of us to grow. I'm not wanting to do one deals with you guys and then say, hey, I'll see y'all later, and then move on to the next one. I want to remember these moments right here, like I remember moments in there with these guys, of an opportunity to grow together and make sure you guys understand this and what has worked for me, and implement it in your guys' businesses, wherever you may be, because you know, we're not all in the same state. You know, I'm lucky to have these guys to have my back and support me personally and professionally. So maybe you guys can, you know, start building businesses and teams like I am, joint venture, and just, you know, making it work. That's what it's about. That's what, you know, this is about getting people together on, you know, a common goal and reaching that goal and being successful.
Okay, Michael, everybody, I'm 54 years old, and when Michael was telling me all this, I was thinking, okay, it's another one of his pyramid schemes. Then I started getting on these Facebook groups going, what the heck is he talking about? And he was talking about making money. I'm like 9 credits or 9 classes away from my bachelor's degree. I went back to school. I'm going back to school for this because it's going to make more money for me than that bachelor's degree. I'm actually going back to get it just as a personal accomplishment. But anyway, enough about that. Can you look up again, Jasmine, so I can see? I just ordered that one, Chris, that you held up, but what was that book that you had?
Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's a great book.
I'm going to order that one right now on Amazon. $6.95 I can invest.
Yeah, there you go, Jasmine.
Which one?
On YouTube, I believe it's free if you're just driving or whatever.
You can listen to it.
Oh, okay. Thank you. But
and also, go ahead, Mom.
I do have a question. Chris, are you the one that goes out and finds the houses?
No, I know I do call and make the offers. Usually, like I said, Gerald and Josh, they are our scouts. They find a house
Okay.
on prop stream. They do all that stuff. Not that I can't. But like I said, we've all got our own jobs here. In order to do this
Yeah.
on a mass scale, we all kind of have our own jobs.
Okay.
So anybody can do it, but
Well,
but
I
I
was
kind of
just,
deal with the numbers part.
okay, thank you. I was just trying to figure out which one of you guys, and Michael, you may be able to answer this. I just got done doing the census and I was going door to door as an enumerator. And I would call Michael or I'd send him pictures, and I would come across these houses where people are deceased now and they're just sitting properties and they're really, really nice houses. And so where would I go to find the property information, like who owns it now? It may, relatives may own it. And how do I approach that to get people to, that I can make a proposal to?
I'm going to show you right now. The sharing my screen. Okay. Chris, can I look you up?
Yep. They don't have me on there, but
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. TruePeopleSearch.com is a free way to skip trace people. Okay, so Christopher Morgan, he is a senior, and we've talked about that. Okay, so Mama, you were asking if you go into PropStream. Have you utilized PropStream very much?
No, I didn't want to get the trial until there's two videos. The guy that you had on there yesterday, the support guy, he had a couple of videos on YouTube that I'm going to watch tonight.
Okay.
And so I'm just doing my homework right now, gathering the information and learning the terminology.
Now I'm sorry, Mom, to interrupt you. Now for other students as well on this, we're going to do a webinar. So Mama, you will have the training with the gentleman yesterday. I can't remember his name. I talk to so many people a day. So, but anyways, we will get him back on. Hopefully on Monday I can have him on so he can show you this stuff live to my students, and maybe we can do this as a weekly thing. We'll start back over at step 1 on Monday and get, go back into the steps on how it works, and then we'll have, just basic discussions like we do today. Long story, or to get quickly to your question, sold Caesar. This was our property that we had under contract that started our company. Sold Caesar. We have notes in here. So what I was going to do is on that True People search. Let's say Cesar Salazar. He's the one that bought this house. Okay. Let's just say that was Christopher Morgan. So Christopher Morgan, we would look up his information. Let's say that something happened, like he is a joint owner on this, and his wife is the other owner, or his kids is the other owner. This is where you'll find associated names and then other information such as relatives. Let's say that he is a senior and you're looking for a junior for him. You can look right here on True People Search, and these are some of his relatives. Maybe you can find his wife on there, public record by wife. And then if his wife needs to sign the contract as well, you can look up his wife's information and skip trace her information. So to answer your question, Mama, if you don't have the information on the homeowner at the present time, you can go to True People Search, look them up, and if they're deceased, go ahead and look for their possible associates or their possible relatives. So is that good information? Good. Okay. Any of you guys have any more questions? We're about an hour and 15 minutes in. I can hang out a little bit longer. It's up to you guys if you want to, or if not, then 5 more minutes. We'll get some questions answered. If you guys got questions other than that.
I need to know what Mama's cooking back there.
I'm always cooking.
I got something to say if you don't mind, Mike.
Sure.
And it's not, I'm not trying to solicit business on your page. I just want to help everybody out. Like, you're helping us out and I really appreciate it. So
For
I just
sure.
want to let everybody know that's on the page. One of my home-based business that I have is I restore credit.
Nice.
So just, because money could get you a lot, but credit you need, obviously in America, you got to play the game, right? You got to have credit.
Right.
So I'm just letting anybody know if they just want to reach out to me, I can explain more on what we do and what I do for the services and how I can help you get your credit up. We get crazy turnarounds, 100 points in 8 weeks, 60 points in 6 weeks. I mean, pretty crazy results. But I just want to let you guys know that's for your whole team back there. If you guys want information on that, hit me up, and I would definitely explain that. But I just want to help everybody out with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Man, we appreciate that. I probably will be talking with you because I got old hospital bills that I kind of went into the credit thing as well and tried to do that, but it wasn't for me. I don't like writing and typing letters or anything like that. But I do have a. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay, but yeah, it was just yeah. I mean, I would definitely look into that. I mean, any and all help could benefit your business and your personal life. Oh yeah, let's do it. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. We do medical bills, student loans, car repossessions, bankruptcies, late payments, charge-offs, you name it, whatever's on your credit that's negative, we take and we dispute it all at once. And you don't even have to worry about that. It's just a monthly fee. It's a service fee, right? Because you have to pay our attorneys and stuff like that. But it's a really good thing. And it's as well as if you want to be an agent like myself, I can always give you the ins and outs on that and how to make extra commission on that. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create several streams of income. Because what is it? Your average millionaire has about 6 or 7 incomes, right?
Yeah, 5, 6, 7. Yeah.
Right.
Somewhere in that range. How many ever
You're-
you can get? Yeah. Just
Exactly.
In.
So right now I have 2, so I'm just working on everything I can, and that's one of them. So like I was just saying, like if anybody wants to make money on the side, let me know. But as well, if you want to get your credit right, hey, I'm here for you, man.
Hey, Christopher, can you put your email into the chat box?
Yes,
Sure, no
yes,
problem. No. Oh wait, Morgan or me?
No, probably you. I've got mine.
Sorry. Okay.
Oh, and Chris, I'm making beets vegetable stew.
Nice.
I'll make you some when I come down in a couple of weeks, okay?
All right, I'll be waiting.
Yeah.
It's in the chat room, Brenda.
Thank you very much, Christopher.
No
I'm
problem,
gonna sign off. I gotta go get a wheel alignment. But it was nice meeting you guys. And son, I love you. You're doing a great job. And your crew, hey, you guys are really professional, and I'm very proud of y'all. So,
Love you, Mom.
okay, take care.
Oh, nice, Steven. Oh, nice. I appreciate it, Steven. Steven bought us lunch. Hey, man, I appreciate that, guys. You guys are awesome.
Mike,
yeah,
I have
if anybody,
a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What are your thoughts on commercial property wholesaling?
Okay, so I had a lot of, I go live every now and then on TikTok, and I have this question come up a lot towards me. We're doing basically multi-family and residential, just single residential families right now. I mean, if a deal makes sense to us, I would need to be educated on the commercial aspect because I'm not educated on that. I know there are commercial investors out there, and all you're doing is just making deals and reaching out to people and making sure that your contracts are good to go. We use Law Depot here. I'll type it down right now. It's a good place to get any kind of contracts or legal advice. We have a premium service of that. So take advantage of their free trial. I think they give you like a 5 to 7 day trial. We use our rental agreements. We was going to do a rent to own property here in town on a property that we were going to do. So it's just a good way to get your contracts. But to answer your question, we haven't done a whole lot of conversations even on wholesaling commercial, but we look forward to doing that in the future and kind of seeing if we can, broaden our horizons on doing commercial work. So yeah. Oh, and land as well. We have a lot of marijuana, medical marijuana opportunities here in Oklahoma, and with the hemp and the medical marijuana industry blowing up as it is, a lot of people are asking me to find them vacant lands. I've already reached out to a few landowners and kind of, said this is what we're doing. So next month I have a big one here in town where I'm going to go out and view the property and see if we can make a deal for some of these investors and so we can get into possibly more streams of income, as Christopher says.
So I'll touch a little bit on that commercial part. You may get into more contracts and things like that, so that's not something that we have in our packages. Mostly, they're, like I said, single family homes, multiplexes, things like that. As far as commercial, there is money in that. There are people that do buy these. We had one here in Shawnee that the old Kmart went out. They turned around and bought it, and somebody had to get that on contract and then turn around and sold it to U-Haul. So now that this whole thing is, this whole old Kmart is a U-Haul building. So there are markets and money into making, commercial buildings and things like that. We've had, guys that we've looked at some commercial property and they look more for higher end, maybe some towards, the northern part of town or south part of town. So you kind of got to do your research on where your commercial property is, because that's going to deal with a lot of being able to get rid of it and being able to sell that and to market it, because nobody's going to want to buy something that's in the wrong part of town that they have to worry about putting security cameras and things like that. So if you get a good deal, as far as a commercial property and things like that, there is a market for it, but we just haven't touched base with it.